Now for our final assembly, or final speaker of this assembly, as well as for the entire school year, here's Mathew Krelitz speaking on trust.
Judgment. It's not just for Judge Judy anymore. That's right, folks. Did you know you can make judgments about other people too? Well, you can. Yes, sir. You can make judgments about anything. Intellect, body shape, ideology, activity choice, and so much more. Anything. Isn't it terrifying knowing that 7 billion people can build a narrative around you without you actually having to do anything? To quote Bilbo Baggins, an act I will undoubtedly be judged for, I know less than half of you half as well as I should like, and I like less than half of you half as well as you deserve. This is true. I don't like a lot of you, but I don't really have a reason for it. Maybe you bumped into me in the hall, or you made an underhanded comment about me that you thought I'd never hear, but for some reason, I don't like you, and I just can't put my finger on why. Actually, I do know why. It's because I am a judgmental asshole, but I don't really want to be. My biggest fear in life is being judged by other people. I don't know what all of your greatest fears are, but unless it's like snakes or getting sneezed on, it's also likely rooted in the fear of other people's thoughts about you. The fear of public speaking, meeting new people, any fears you have surrounding your parents, they're all probably based on what other people will think about you. I believe there is a way to ease this fear, and that is trust. I don't want to go into it too much, but I am a very judgmental person. I always have been and likely always will be. It begins with my trust issues. In my youth, I was a sickly looking child. Not that I'm not sickly looking now, but it was worse back then. And I hated myself for it. I saw others who were, quote, cooler than me, or more athletic, or sexier than me. And I internalized that bullshit. I hated myself. And in my brain, I figured everyone else hated me too. I don't really know how to describe this way of thinking to you, so I'm going to use abstract symbolism. Think of a tower. As towers do, this tower is towering above you. It's blocking everyone's view. There's something behind it, but you just can't see what. I think it's a better place. Imagine hating the tower. So one day you decide the tower must be destroyed. Unfortunately, in trying to destroy the tower, you get crushed by a falling girder. That's what it's like in my head. I hope that helped you. Anyways, due to this internalized dislike of myself, I stayed quiet and made judgments about the people I thought were leaving me out. I molded myself into a judgmental person to protect myself. I knew they hated me, but if they ever called me out on anything, I'd be ready to make them pay. Because of this, I started to think I was a bad person, and I loathed myself all the more for it. That's another girder. Can I sue the construction company? But little did I know, the construction company was myself. I was scared of the world. Eventually, my dislike of myself outgrew my perceived preparedness for external attacks, and I shut down. This was around 9th grade, but then, out of nowhere, something amazing happened. I found solace in someone who disliked themselves just as much as I did. And so we shared our obtuse judgments of others because, as we like to put it, we're the same person. Yes, it was very reassuring to have all of my assumptions and accusations confirmed by someone who wasn't me, a friend, something I didn't think I needed. But our way of thinking wasn't good for either of us. Luckily, this person disliked her building just as much as I did and was also struck by a falling object. She wasn't hit with a girder, though. I believe she was hit with concrete. Anyways, we've both grown a lot since the end of our freshman year, and I believe that growth was due to trust. I'm still a very judgmental person, which is something that I'm working on, but this connection showed me that no one thought about me the way that I did. In taking this risk, in learning to open up about myself, little by little, my worst fears went unconfirmed, and that was a good thing. According to this website, interchange.com, trust forms when a relationship has honesty, empathy, and respect. I believe all of this is true, but even more importantly is vulnerability. It's quite possibly the most difficult thing you can do, other than apparently not eating a bat you bought in an unregulated market. According to Brené Brown, the baddest bitch in social work research, being vulnerable with another person fuels connection. Most of the time when you're vulnerable, people see that and connect with you due to their shared insecurities and self-reflections, because no one is perfect. However amazing someone might seem, they have struggles too, and it's up to you to learn about them and stop your assumptions and judgments in their tracks. For many years, I never told anyone that I write sitcom scripts or do American Ninja Warrior or that I love shows like Crazy Ex-Girlfriend because I was afraid of what people would think about me. And look at that. Now I'm trusting all of you. Also, I really like Tina Fey. I've never been shy about that, but I felt she needed to be included on this slide. Now, I'm not saying it's easy to trust someone because it isn't, but I think everyone needs to try. For some people, trusting others is easy and they put too much faith in people and get hurt. We all need to learn to trust correctly, but for me, it was a slow and draining process going the other way. Through it, though, I discovered that I was pretty cool. And this is a revelation I think everyone should try to realize. You're probably pretty cool too. You just don't know it yet. From that starting spot, I began to trust more people I thought I'd never trust, and people who I'm sure never thought would trust me. But I'm glad, because there are so many good people out there, and I'm sure there are still some that I've overlooked. There's something cathartic about baring your soul to someone. Of course, there will be judgment, it's unavoidable, but it's understanding that no one is a harsher critic of you than yourself that frees you. In my experience, the more you learn about others by actually learning from them, the less room there is for you to make judgments about them because the space is filled with understanding. I learned this, and it's still hard. People see me as confident and outgoing and funny and loud, and they say I have a voice, but I can't see that. The building is still in my way. I still see him, and it's hard to leave him behind. But because I'm still growing and learning to trust people, which is why I don't think I can leave him behind. You can't take away the foundations of a building and expect it to stay upright. Nor should you stare at the building all day and let it block your view of the world. You have to look inside the building and then go see the rest of the sights of the city because there's a lot to offer there. The building is just a building. It can't do everything. It can't be everything. It's just a building. Please don't tear it down. So now it's your turn then. Tell someone who you think you can trust something, anything. For me, it released a lot of bad thoughts and brought me into the light. So I'll end with a quote from the Muppets. When all those people believe in you, deep enough and strong enough believe in you, hard enough and long enough, it stands to reason you yourself will start to see what everybody sees in you. And maybe even you can believe in you too.